Hey everybody, it's Matt from the house, and in this video we're going to talk to you about a few of our favorite women's boards for the 21-22 season. Let's check these things out. All right, first up, we've got the Arbor Cadence rocker. So this actually does come in rocker and cambered versions, depending on which bend you want. You want the rocker for a little more catch-free, floaty feel, or the camber for a little snappier, livelier feel. But insane board. This is actually kind of more of a park board. It is a true twin board, but everybody that has ridden this board is super pumped on it, and even riding it outside of the park, it handles its own. It's basically got, a little bit easier flex to it, but it's not too soft again to go out and ride out of the park. Then the other thing that's pretty cool is they actually have that grip technology on the outsides here, which basically is where the board bumps out a little bit at your feet, which does help this board get 2 additional contact points. So we've got 4 total. So it actually can be a little bit softer, easier riding board, but still is going to grip really, really well when you get it into the harder, icier conditions. We've got a hand-dyed ash top sheet on this too. That is not just a graphic, it actually is a wood top sheet with the graphic over it, which is adding not only a cool look to the board, but it's actually adding a lot of snap, pop, and stability to the board as well. All right, next up we've got the Burton Yay Sayer. This board's been in Burton's lineup for a little bit now, and it was kind of an instant classic. Girls really, really liked this thing when it came out, mainly because the shape is super, super versatile. It's something that you can ride in the park, ride in the POW, ride absolutely anywhere in between. But we're doing a triax fiberglass in this thing, so it does have a little bit of snappier, livelier feel, not just off of jumps, but in and out of your turns as well. So it's something that actually helps pushing you in and out of your turns. It comes in 2 bends. There is the flat top version, which is flat with a little bit of rocker in the nose. Or if you want a little bit snappier, livelier version, they do have a flying V, which is rocker to camber in the nose and the tail. But that's how important this board is. It actually comes in 2 different bends just because they want girls to be able to find exactly what they want, whether they want the extra stability or whether they want that livelier feel. And then both are going to give you excellent float when you get into the deep snow, and also going to give you that nice, easy catch-free feel. But again, one board that can absolutely do everything, no matter what skill rider you are. All right, next up we have the GNU Ladies Choice. So this board kind of came from the Rider's Choice, which the Rider's Choice, the quick story on that one is basically GNU went to their riders and said, we need to design a board, and the inspiration is you can go anywhere you want, you can ride whatever terrain you want, but you can only take one board, and that's where that board came from. So likely with this version, same thing. This is one board that can do absolutely everything. So it does come in a C2, which is rocker in the middle to camber in the nose and tail, and it is rocker dominant. There is the Pro Choice version as well, which is Jamie Anderson's model, which is camber to a little bit of rocker, and it's a little confusing. Both have rocker in the middle, but the Pro Choice actually is camber dominant, so the tips are not lifted, but it still gives you that little bit of that teetering point in the middle, so when you get into deep snow, the board does want to sit back a little bit. But again, on this one, it is a rocker dominant where the tips are lifted up for more of that catch-free feel. But asymmetrical design on this thing, it actually does have a heel side edge and a toe side edge. So when you are riding, it's a little harder to carve on your heels than it is on your toes. On your toes, you can drop all your pressure and all your weight on your toes very, very easily. But if you ever try to stand back on your heels, not as easy. So this board actually does have that asymmetrical design where the heel side edge is a little deeper, and it does give you better edge hold and harder carves. All right, next up is the Shamany Wolf. Amazing looking board. This is one of my favorite looking boards. Super, super cool graphic. Great board for beginners to intermediate riders, and probably one of the most stable boards that we actually have. A little bit of a flatter profile, just a little bit of that rise at the front to give you a nice easy feel. But again, a board that can pretty much do anything. You're probably not going to be riding a lot of park on this thing, but it is actually designed to the point where if you wanted to get into the park and start dabbling a little bit, it will work no problem. But again, ultimate stability is the key to this one. It has the response core, it has the reply fiberglass, and basically give you a board that's going to push you to get better and actually hone those snowboarding skills. All right, last up we have the Ride Psycho Candy. So pretty cool board. With the success of the War Pig, basically those volume shift boards where you're going to be buying them, 6 to 10 centimeters shorter, they actually made the Psycho Candy, which is pretty cool. This one actually started out as kind of like the women's War Pig. Basically, it was kind of an easier, smoother riding version of the War Pig for somebody that wanted that nice, easy ride. The War Pig has a little snappier, quicker feel in and out of turns and off the jumps. The really cool thing with this one is that it is that volume shift board, and they actually did start making it in bigger sizes because there were a lot of the guys that said, hey, we kind of like that idea and we want to ride that board as well. So the really cool thing is most of the women's boards, a lot of times they are takedowns from the men's boards. This one actually went the other way. So they started making it for this season in a few bigger sizes for the guys to ride. And when I say those bigger sizes, we're talking, what, 58 is the biggest. But again, those are for guys that are usually riding boards that are, you know, in the like 68 range. So again, on this one, it comes all the way down to a 38. You're going to basically downsize on this thing 6 to 10 centimeters. And you're gonna get a board that's a little bit wider, has a lot of float to it, but if you're riding the rest of the mountain, it's not actually gonna leave you in the lurches. The setback on this thing is 3/4 of an inch, so it's only set back a tiny bit from your side cut points. So there is a little bit more nose and there's a little less tail, but when you're riding it on flat snow, technically you can take your bindings and move them forward just a little bit and it's gonna feel more like a twin tip board. So again, nice, easy, smooth riding, volume shift board that is an all mountain ride. This is not a powder board, even though the shape tells you otherwise. All right, well, thanks for checking out a few of our favorite all mountain women's boards for the 21-22 season. Yeah, obviously we can't show you all of our favorite boards just because the video would be 10 hours long. But if you got any questions beyond what we talked about in the video or any of the other women's boards that we have at thehouse.com, leave some comments down below. We're on there every single day trying to answer your questions. We want to make sure we get you into some rad gear, but most importantly, we want to make sure it's actually going to fit you and your riding style. Also, make sure to like, subscribe, definitely get that notification bell on too so you can find out when all the new videos drop. And no matter what level women's rider you are, if you're at the beginner or if you want something to get out and go fast and carve hard, grab yourself a new board and get out and ride. Because any day of riding is a good day of riding.